Hello there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the various dimensions and metrics within Analyze for analyzing and reporting campaign data. Let's start with dimensions. You can add various dimensions to your table to get a more detailed view of specific campaign metrics. For example, we can add the dimension called ad size to see how many impressions were served for each ad size. As you can see, each ad size is displayed on a different row. This allows me to easily see the total number of impressions for each ad size for the time period currently selected. As you can also see, the graph was updated to color code each ad size accordingly. If I wanted to see a more granular view of when the ad sizes were served, I can add another dimension. If I have several months worth of data, I could add the dimension month to see how many impressions were served for each ad size by month. For smaller data sets, I could choose week or date. Using the dimension date would give me a daily total for each ad size. Of course, I could get more granular by selecting hour. I'm simply going to select date from my list. As you can see in my data table, the date column has been added, and now I can easily see the total number of impressions for each ad size by each day. Once a dimension has been added to your data table, it is highlighted in blue within the dimension list for easy identification. As you can see, date is now highlighted in blue. To remove any dimension currently displayed on your data table, simply click the blue highlighted name of that dimension in the list. You will notice the list of available dimensions is quite large. To help you better understand what each dimension represents, you can view the tooltip associated with that dimension simply by hovering over its name. For example, if I hover over flight, I can see a tooltip that states a flight is a distinct time segment of campaign delivery with start and end dates. Now let's talk about metrics and metric sets. Metrics is where we will find a complete list of all the individual metrics that can be added to our data table. Under metrics, we'll find items like impressions, spend, CPA, and CPC, which can be easily added to the data table simply by clicking on the metric's name. Any metric highlighted in blue indicates that it is currently selected and displayed on the data table already. To remove it from the data table, simply click the highlighted metric name. Just like we saw with dimensions, hovering over any individual metric in the list will display a tooltip with relevant information about that metric, which may also include a formula of how that metric is calculated. If I hover over CPA, I can see both a description of CPA as well as the formula used to calculate CPA. Now let's talk about metric sets. Metric sets are simply groupings of individual metrics that enable you to quickly change an entire group of metrics displayed on the data table. For example, if you wanted to see a view with metrics that were relevant to a campaign focused on conversions, you could select the metric set Conversion Goal. If you were more focused on clicks, you might select the metric set Click Goal. I'm going to go ahead and select the metric set Conversion Goal. This will automatically update my data table. As you can see, my data table refreshes and displays all the metrics that make up this particular metric set. By the way, any dimensions that were previously selected and displayed on the data table, such as ad size and date, do remain intact. Now if I click back on the Metrics tab, you'll see that this list has been updated to remain in sync with the selected metric set. This means that all the individual metrics currently displayed on the data table are now highlighted in blue here in the list. And any previously displayed metrics that are not part of the selected metric set are no longer highlighted in blue. This concludes our video on how to use dimensions and metrics for analyzing and reporting campaign data. In the next video, we will cover how to create views and scheduled reports.